Hello, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Tuscaloosa is Talking with Philip Coleman. And today we're going to be talking about something that most everybody seems to be talking about these days, and that is AI, artificial intelligence. My guest today is Dr. Sherelle Young, instructional technical specialist with the Tuscaloosa City School System. Her title also includes AI Lead with the Tuscaloosa City School System. Dr. Young, thank you so very much for being with us today. We do appreciate you doing the interview with us.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mr. Coleman, for having me.
And we also appreciate you arranging for us to do this interview in a computer lab of the city school system here in Tuscaloosa.
It is a pleasure, and we're happy that you get to experience our new state-of-the-art computer science lab.
As part of your work as AI lead for the Tuscaloosa City School System, you recently organized an event for the public called AI Literacy for Parents. Held at the Tuscaloosa Public Library, the event AI Literacy for Parents provided information and guidance for parents regarding the growing presence of AI in the lives of young students and children in general. Obviously, this is a matter of concern for the city school system, a matter of concern for you as an educator because you organized this event. Tell us, please, the reason for that concern.
Well, we sent out a survey asking families, teachers, parents, like, what is it that you would like to know as we continue to move this initiative forward? And the evidence was clear from that feedback that parents and families were not aware what AI was and how it will fit in schools. And there was a large amount of folks that did not know what AI was. And there was a group of families that were afraid of privacy and data concerns as it relates to these tools sharing information. And there was a group of families that shared in the feedback survey that they did not want AI to do the heavy load of thinking for their students. So I think that was the biggest challenge. So the gap was, how do we bring families into this conversation and learn as we continue to grow, because we took the stand of we don't know everything. And it was clear that the research and some of the things that I have found that we need to bring all stakeholders into the conversation about AI. And the one way to do it, a low stakes event where folks get to see how these tools work, especially in the space of teaching and learning.
I find that very interesting that the parents themselves reached out to the school system through that survey that you all had, and the parents themselves wanted to know more about AI as it's impacting the lives of their children.
Absolutely. They were clear in that feedback that, hey, what is this thing? There are some people that have never heard of AI, and so we didn't want to assume that people knew what it was. And there was a few that came in from that feedback that said, well, how does this look for my students that are elementary? What does this look like for my high school students? And some of the feedback suggested that not only were the parents afraid, but some of the students were afraid of AI from the things that they've seen in the news, from just what they've heard. And so this was a way for us to bring AI into the community and just talk about some of the things that you can do that will be positive, and try to reduce some of those fears that people were having.
Let's talk about how these younger students are using AI. Tell us, please, I referred to in my introduction the presence of AI in the lives of young students, in the lives of children. Your role as an educator, AI lead for the Tuscaloosa City School System, how do you find that students are using AI? What do you observe is the role of AI in the educational life of the student?
So it varies based on grade band. So I had the privilege of talking to the superintendent's advisory group today, and some of the students use AI as a thought partner. They are using AI to help them understand the skills that they're learning in class. So whereas the teacher may teach something, but they need to unpack it in a way that they understand it and they comprehend it. So they're using the AI tools as a study partner. I heard some things like, hey, I use AI to help strengthen my essay. I have talked to some students, they are using AI to help calibrate and create use AI to create their resumes. And so it varies from student to student. We have some students that are using it to create music.
Wow.
We have students that are using it to explore different topics, like as an enrichment. So one of the things that we're able to do in the city schools, we piloted a tool called Magic School AI, and this is a teacher, educator friendly tool where everything that happens in this tool, the teachers can see the interactions that the students are having with the AI. So the teacher sets up the room, and so in this particular example, the student was exploring everything about planets. So any questions that they had about planets, they can ask this AI tool. The teacher can see the conversation. If the conversation went left, they can redirect and say, hey, that wasn't appropriate, or hey, I saw you had a question about this, and pull the student to kind of expand on that knowledge that they are missing or where they need to grow. So there's so many different ways that our students are using AI to just enhance their learning experience. And one of the great things that I heard today from that superintendent's advisory group is that we're not using it to cheat. We want to learn. And so this is a very sharp group. They're a smart group of kids. And so one of the comments that I heard was, I don't want AI to take away my voice.
Yes.
And so that just gave me a lot of hope that we are doing the right things, we putting the right things in place to make sure that students are successful, but they are prepared to use these tools outside of TCS.
And it sounds to me that one of the keys in making sure that AI will be a positive and helpful tool for the students in their journey toward learning is for both teachers and parents to closely monitor the students' usage of AI, as you've just described, so that the students can get helpful educational aids, study assistance in a helpful way from AI, but not allow it to become too much of a, for lack of a better way to say it, we don't want AI to become too much of a crutch for the student, and to let the work actually be work that is done by the student, that actually comes from the student's intellect.
Absolutely. And I think that's a tall order to ask, but I think we are headed in the right direction of making sure that our teachers are trained. I am and my team, we're listening to these different groups of people, from students. We hope to bring in a group of parents as well, just to have a conversation about how does these tools, how would they impact learning? And because they are our consumers, they are the people that we are in collaboration with, we just want to make sure that everyone has a voice and we're not blind to the things, but also we want to be clear that we are learning as we grow. And so as these tools continue to evolve, and they are evolving fast,
Yes.
we just want to make sure that our kids are prepared, and we know preparation doesn't just start at school, it starts at home as well. And so making sure our families are aware and that literacy doesn't just start at school, it starts at home, and how our community can tag in to support us in this initiative.
And speaking of this process beginning at home and the student's home life being an important part of this whole AI process, that is, the proper use of AI process, tell us more about what you see as the ideal role of the parent, given that parents are so very busy these days with their jobs and their work and so forth. But taking that into account, taking that into consideration, what do you see as the ideal role of the parent to make sure that their child is getting the most positive, the most helpful usage from AI? What would you like to see the parent do?
I think first and foremost, parents need to know how these tools work, and then set up some guardrails for at-home use. And those guardrails can look different for each family. But one of the things that you should consider, like, what's an absolutely red stop, like a no-no for our use. Like, we're not putting in personal identifiable information in these tools. We're not putting copyrighted materials, or we're not putting our pictures in this. You set those parameters for use at home. And you want to also monitor what students how they're using it and what they're using it for. So if a student comes home to their parents and say, hey, Mom, I want to use AI to help me do this, as a parent, you should be monitoring and ask the student, how are you using it? And don't just stop at the final answer. We want students to still be critical thinkers, so we need to be questioning, how did you arrive here? How did you get to this point?
Yes.
How do we think in this way so that we can support learning and don't reduce learning by allowing AI to do all the work? So setting some guardrails in place for determining what that use looks like, just like you would do for a cell phone. No calls after 9. Checking the apps to make sure that they're not sharing any private information. So same thing applies with AI, and that's what I recommend for families to do. Just set up some family conversations around these tools so that their students are safe, and they are also aware of how their students are using these tools and what they need them for.
What resources does the Tuscaloosa City School System offer to parents who want to know more? Like you had that very useful and very beneficial event just a few weeks ago that I alluded to, referred to in my introduction, the AI literacy for parents. That's one way that the city school system is reaching out and responding to the needs of parents with regards to understanding this growing involvement of AI in the life of their children. But what other resources and services are being provided by the city school system that parents can turn to for guidance to make sure that they as parents are doing the right thing regarding AI and their children?
So right now we don't have nothing yet. We are in the works of creating guidance documents, one-pagers, so that our families have access to these things. But that's an area of growth for us, that we need to have things accessible and host more in-person events. So some of the feedback from that survey, it's one thing to read about a thing, it's another thing to experience it hands-on. And so my goal and the team's goal is to have more hands-on events where families can get involved, but also have guidance, just easy to access, of where to get started, or what to get started.
Did you all have a good turnout for that AI literacy for parents event that you held a few weeks ago?
Well, we were pleased that people came out. We had a busy night that night. The library had a busy night, but we were very excited from the feedback that we did receive and the parents that did show up. So I think we did fairly okay for our first event.
I know we're talking about something that happened a few weeks ago, but just to help us get some insight into what our parents' concerns, what are some of the standout questions you recall that some of the parents asked at that event?
I can't recall. I have to look at the survey data. I think, and I did a lot of running around just to make sure everything was running like it was supposed to. But I want to highlight some of the things that the students were doing. So we had a group of students showcase how they were using AI.
Very good, very
At
good.
the event, and so the highlight of that was our future is bright here in TCS because our students are taking the lead and they're using the resources that we put in front of them to be responsible users of AI. So one of the students was using AI to help him find errors in his code to improve his code. So he was coding a project, and so that's just one of the ways that we see that AI could be a benefit to TCS. But I didn't get a lot of questions about it because we started off with our superintendent, Dr. Daria, giving a charge, and then we had our technology director talk about the parameters that we put in place to protect all users, not just students, but what we're doing to protect our staff as well with AI. And I think that mitigated some of the concerns that parents had. And I think the other concerns was, how are we protecting our students? And then how are students using it? And I think we were able to answer those two questions at the event. No one asked me a question, so I apologize for not having an answer for that. But we were able to answer some of those concerns by showing them how students are using AI and what they can do at home with AI and what we're doing to protect them from the district's end.
Well, by all means, no apologies necessary. You're doing such a great job with spreading this educational and very beneficial information about AI to parents. And speaking of that, for those of our viewers to our interview today who might say, well, hey, I missed out on that first AI Literacy for Parents event. Are there going to be future events held by the Tuscaloosa City School System? Are there going to be future AI Literacy for Parents events coming up in the near future that other parents can look forward to attending?
We hope so. We hope to start off fresh in the fall, and I'm hoping to do something probably at most of the sites when they do their back to school, because I know that I can get a bigger audience if I host at the school. So working with the school teams on doing something school-based. So if parents are already coming out for a back to school night, and that's one way to kind of do two things at once. And so my goal is to, yes, host more events, but do it in a more structured and focused way where we can capture more bees with honey.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, Dr. Young, as we wrap up our discussion here, is there anything in particular you want to convey to our viewers, especially those parents out there, with regards to AI before we conclude our interview at this time?
I want our families to know to be cautious, but be inquisitive, be curious. This thing that we know of as AI is in everything that we touch, and I want you to learn with it, but be cautious, be curious, and get in with your students. That's how I started. I got in the mud and started playing around with these tools and discovering ways that these tools can enhance teaching and learning. So do the same with your students, and we look forward to what we continue to do as a community to make sure that our students are prepared for the future.
That's absolutely great, Dr. Young. Thank you so much, very, very much, for being our guest today, and once again allowing us to do the interview in this wonderful, ultra-modern, state-of-the-art computer lab that's available for the education of our students. And just to kind of put things in perspective for our viewers out there, tell us and our viewers both exactly where we are. Where is this wonderful state-of-the-art computer lab?
We are in TCTA. We are in our state-of-the-art computer science lab, and it is phenomenal. It's a very flexible learning space where students can work on these fabulous machines back here to code, or if they want to just lounge in the love seat over here or in the booth or on our bistro tables, they can do that as well, led by the fabulous Destiny Langford.
Well, again, we appreciate this privilege of being able to do our interview here. We understand from you during an earlier conversation that my lovely wife and I, who is the producer of this program, we are the first outside of the city school system to actually shoot an interview in this facility.
Absolutely. You are the first and won't be the last.
Well, we appreciate this privilege. We appreciate you being with us today. We also appreciate our viewers for sharing your precious time with us too. And always be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you once again next time.